Hello guys and welcome to the video. Recently I started making video games in Unity and decided I want to make in the video, so here's how I made my first game. Enjoy. I'm pretty new to Unity, so I was watching a beginner tutorial on YouTube. At the end of the course I made this little prototype with it. I liked the game, so I decided to try expanding on it myself. I mean, how much I knew. So yeah, this is where my suffering starts. In the video I made movement, shooting, enemies and their spawn points. First, I noticed the shooting from the tutorial was made wrong. Ha, imagine me saying something to someone who totally knows better than me. So the wrong thing is that it only shoots when you click the button. If you hold the button, it will only shoot at the beginning, so you have to merge the life out of the button to shoot constantly, or just use an auto-clicker if you want to be a lazy noob. So, in order to make it how it's supposed to be, I need a timer, and every time it detects that the button is pressed, it checks if the timer is at 0. And if it is, it shoots the bullet and puts it to the timer duration, which is the fire rate. This way, even if you merge the life out of the button, it will shoot the first time and then again when the timer gets to 0. Damn, what a smartass I am. I wanted to add a score that shows how many enemies you've killed. I made that by making a UI text and a variable that increases when you kill someone. And of course I had to add a dashing ability, because what good game doesn't have a dash? So here comes the cool part, I hope. So I added a system that makes you stronger based on how many kills you have. I made it change damage and fire rate, so at the end of the level the fire rate and damage are so high that you feel like a true badass. I also made the spawner start spawning 2 enemies at a time at a certain point in a level. I was constantly testing the game, so I knew where to put an upgrade. By doing that over and over again, I decided that at 300 points the enemies will stop spawning and you have to kill the remaining enemies to finish the level. It also made a pop-up for when you die or finish the level. When you die, the button restarts the level, and when you finish, the next level gets unlocked and it moves you back to the level select screen. Then I made a main menu screen, just for the sake of it. First I wanted to add a tutorial at the beginning of the first level, but it was tedious to do the tutorial every time you start the level or restart it after dying. So I thought of making a save system that will save when you finish the tutorial, so it doesn't appear every time. But for some reason it just didn't work. So I did whatever normal human being would do. I threw the idea out of the window and decided to make a separate level for the tutorial, which ended up being better because I had complete freedom with making it, and the player could also play it again if he forgets this game's complicated controls. For the second level I added a wall on the right and left side and a cube at the center of the map. With that came a little problem. The enemies work by getting the position of the player, rotating towards it, and moving forward. So guess what happens when you put a wall in front of their faces? Yeah, they are dumb. Oh no, I take it back. So I had to make an AI that will avoid them. Luckily for me, there was an add-on that makes it a lot easier. I didn't understand a thing how it works, so if you want to know how it's done, just watch this video. I was also playing this level again and again, trying to find a good time to add an upgrade and finish. I wanted the game to be playable on controller. Now, I have no idea how it's made in other games, and I wanted to try to make it myself. So I got an idea of having a button on main menu that changes between keyboard and mouse and controller. I made it change the controls and the text in the tutorial. Also made a save system that saves what was last used. I needed a way to store what level is the player on, so I just added a level variable to the save system. I didn't think sprites would look good in this game, but I decided to add a glow effect to objects to give them some life. To do that, I added a volt volume and light source to everything, and also a background for the light to spread. Players and enemies had a normal light source, but the obstacles in the second level had this weird one, so they glow but they don't spread the light around, cause that will make it too noisy. Adding this surprisingly made the game feel much more polished. Now, let me ask you a question. What does every good game need to have? That's right, Unity's particle system. I added one that starts yellow and becomes red, so it looks like those are part of the enemies, and they start hot and bright and get colder over time. And also made the same white one for the player. Now all that was left to do is to build it and publish it to itch.io. And that's my first game made. Honestly, I'm very happy with how it turned out, especially considering it's my first time and I made it somewhat alone. There's one last thing I want to say. I got the idea of making this video after the game was already made, so that's when all the footage was taken, so there might be some things I missed and didn't mention. All the videos I will make in the future will be already recorded during the making of the game, so they will be more detailed and in parts and more frequent. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.